The big engines, Gordon, Henry, and James, had reached their limit. Shunting, in their opinion, was beneath them. They were express engines, built to haul important trains, not to push and pull trucks around the yard like little engines. And they were still sore about Thomas leaving to run his branch line. One morning, as they gathered in the sheds, Gordon took charge. "This is ridiculous. We should stand up for ourselves." Henry nodded. "We're meant for big jobs, not for fussing with trucks." "Right," agreed James, his red paint gleaming in indignation. "We'll go on strike until Sir Topham Hatt gives us proper respect." And so, they did. Gordon, Henry, and James stayed stubbornly in the sheds, refusing to move a single truck or coach. The railway soon became a mess, with trains delayed and passengers complaining. But the big engines didn't budge. They were determined to show Sir Topham Hatt they meant business. When Sir Topham Hatt heard of the strike, he was both amused and annoyed. The big engines thought they were making a grand stand, but he knew just what to do to bring them back in line. He decided to bring in a new engine, a small green tank engine with a cheeky smile, named Percy. Percy arrived at Knapford Station the next day, looking around eagerly at his new home. He was bright-eyed, curious, and eager to prove himself, even if it meant shunting. "Hello, sir." Percy greeted Sir Topham Hatt with a cheerful whistle. "Welcome, Percy," Sir Topham Hatt replied warmly. "I have a special job for you. The big engines are refusing to shunt, so I need someone reliable who's willing to work hard." Percy's face lit up. "I'd love to help, sir." Without hesitation, Percy set to work, organizing trucks and preparing trains. He darted around the yard, moving faster than Gordon, Henry, or James ever had, whistling happily all the while. Soon, Percy had the yard running smoothly again. Back in the sheds, Gordon, Henry, and James had expected their strike to disrupt the railway, but they were surprised when everything continued as normal. Curious, they peered out to see Percy busy shunting and moving trucks with ease. "Who's that?" James huffed, surprised. "I don't know," Gordon replied, frowning, "but he's not half bad at shunting." The big engines watched as Percy zipped around the yard, smiling and chatting with the other engines. Despite their grumpiness, they had to admit that Percy seemed to enjoy his work. Henry finally sighed, looking guilty. "Maybe we've been too proud," he muttered. "Even little engines like shunting." When Sir Topham Hatt saw the big engines watching Percy, he decided it was time for a talk. He approached them, crossing his arms. "Gordon, Henry, James," he began sternly, "I hope you see now that every job on this railway is important. Even shunting helps keep things running smoothly." The big engines looked at one another, realizing they'd let their pride get in the way of being really useful engines. They hung their heads, embarrassed. "Percy here has shown that there's no job too small for an engine who wants to help," Sir Topham Hatt continued. "I expect each of you to work alongside him from now on, sharing the duties." Though reluctant, the big engines agreed. Over the next few days, they helped Percy with the shunting and learned to appreciate the hard work involved. They even started to respect Percy, who was always cheerful and willing to lend a hand. As the days went by, Percy became a valued member of the team. The big engines came to see him as a friend, realizing he brought energy and enthusiasm that the railway needed. Even Gordon, who once believed shunting was beneath him, found himself impressed with Percy's determination. Soon, Percy was well loved by all the engines, big and small. And though the big engines sometimes grumbled, they never went on strike again, remembering the lesson Percy had taught them, that every job on the railway was important. And so, the big engines had not only gained a new friend but had also learned a bit of humility along the way.